This is Ranjit and welcome to my YouTube channel, that's Kiki Ranjit, and in this video we're going to look at the Note 3 and specifically we're going to look at the S Pen features. The Note 3 enhances the S Pen features and we're going to look at that. The Note 3 S Pen is tucked away at the back of the Note 3. It's a little bit hard, I would say. I've been using this Note now for about 25 days. Still, it's a little bit tight to take it out, and it's pretty light, and we also have a button over here. Let me put it in back and let me take it out again. And the moment you take it out, you do get this air command. I'll talk about it a bit later. Before that, let me show you some of the settings that I've found for this S Pen. If you go to the controls, here you have the option to customize your S Pen, and the first option is to turn off pen detection. I have enabled it, and we also have the S Pen keeper, and this will alert us if we just keep the S Pen somewhere like this and forget and walk away. It will notify us. So that's an interesting feature. And we also have a pointer. For example, as you can see, you see this pointer, I'm not clicking, it hovers. So this is the pointer, and Samsung is doing a good job of explaining all the features that we find here. And we also have the direct pen input feature. So that's interesting. And I would suggest that you have a look at these pages because they provide a good amount of help. And also in the gestures guide, we do have a lot of options here, as you can see, and you can also correct mistakes like this. You can use the S Pen for writing input, and also Samsung does provide a good amount of correction if you make mistakes. And another good thing about this S Pen is that now these touch type capacitive buttons, that is the back and the menu, can be used with the S Pen. This was not available on the Note 1 and the Note 2. Also, we do have options of pen detachment options, and whenever we remove the S Pen, you can assign it for action memo or the air command. I'll talk about the air command a bit later. And again, whenever you remove the S Pen, it also makes a noise, and that's also customizable. For example, we have these three options here. And one more thing, before I show you the air command features, let me also show you one more thing. Let's open up our web browser. Just press this S Pen and you can highlight this area, and when you leave that, it should be selected. Again, you can correct it. For example, let's make it a proper square like this. And again, do note all these applications are there, the Scrapbook, the S Note, Messenger, and you can use all of these applications and you can paste this. For example, for this example, let's use the S Note. And now it's been copied to the clipboard, and I can just open up the S Note. And as you can see, we have that text over here. We can resize that if you want and move it around like this, and we can save it. So this is another interesting feature that we find. And let me also show you one more feature as we are now in this S Note. Let me just go back now and let's start a new note. And we do have options like this. We can easily create charts and pie charts, etc. And let's go to the easy chart option and let's make a bar chart. And again, it gives you quite a bit of help. And for example, let's start it and let's draw a graph. Let's say this is the bigger one, 70%, and let's say these are sales figure that I want 30% or something like that. Again, you need to be careful. So again, it made 73% and 35%. For example, I wanted this to be about 30%. So just click here and you can adjust it. So it's pretty intuitive and easy to use, for example. And now you can just save this graph and just save it in our S Note. So again, it's a pretty interesting concept, I would say. And you can also create pie charts like this if you want. You have the options here, and you can also create illustrations. So it's interesting. Now let me talk about the action memo. Whenever you take out the S Pen, it will be activated, but you can also activate it by just hitting this button and just hover above the screen. You don't have to touch it, and we have all these options. I'll go over them one by one. First, let's talk about the action memo. And this is useful for just jotting down notes, etc. What, for example, let's say somebody is telling you some name, etc. Let's say this is Amit, and they give you his number or something. This is a fictitious number, 47890, and we do have this action memo link to action, and by using this now you can call up that number or add it to contacts, email, etc. And let's just discard this, and let's go back. You can also access previous numbers or whatever you have added. For example, let's open up this Amit number what we have and link to action, and now if I just hit this contacts button, it will add this number to our contacts. I don't want to do that. Let me just go back, let me discard, and let's you can open this again. You see this, and we can also for example, I was traveling this last week, and somebody told me that I need to check out this Della Adventures in Lonavala, so I just noted it down here. And now using this link to action memo, and we do have all these options over here, but one interesting thing that I've found is that you have this map option, and if you just click on that, it will actually locate that place, and as you can see, it's locating it, and it will give you more info. Now if I tap over here, I get all the info about that place. So it's actually pretty interesting, this thing, and I just love this feature. And these days I'm just jotting down notes or places of interest and just storing it here. So that's action memo. Next we have the Scrapbooker, and for this, first let me just open up the web browser again, and let's just go to our website, that's tech2buzz.com. And this is great for doing research work, etc. For example, let's say I found this article interesting, and let's say I just want to look at this article later on for my research work. What I can do is just now hover around, open the Scrapbooker, and I'll just highlight this one like this, and it'll open and save this in this Scrapbook. For example, you can make categories, for example, tech report, whatever. Let's say I just want to save it in my default Scrapbook. I can just save it now, and that's saved. Let's just open up our Scrapbook now, and I can access that. These are all the categories, but let's say just I want to go to my Scrapbook, and what we have saved is here. And the good thing is that it saves a lot more information. For example, the URL from where we got this. So again, this is a very handy tool if you're doing a lot of research work, and the Scrapbook is really interesting. That's why I have it on my homepage. And next we'll look at what do you say, this next option, that is Screenwriter. And I would say this is great, and this just will just take a screenshot of this, and now you can just write on this. For example, great, I would say this is great for maps and applications like that, and now you can just save this and share it with your friends. That was the Screenwrite, and we also have the S Finder, and this is kind of a search, I would say. And using this you can search for example what you have done in the last 7 days or specific notes, etc. It's not that you can just use this via the S Pen. If you just hold the menu button also for about 3 seconds, you can access this search option. This is a new thing on the Note 3. And lastly, we have the pen window. This is kind of multitasking. I don't use this too much, but now for example I just highlight like this, and you get these options. These are kind of multitasking apps. Only limited amount of apps we have, for example calculator. And now for example, let's say I'm browsing also, this will float over that. So this is also kind of interesting and kind of multitasking. I personally don't use this feature a lot, but again, it's nice to have this feature. So these are some of the new features that we find with the S Pen on the Note 3. I'll also be doing a full in-depth review with this Note 3 very soon. So if you aren't subscribed to my YouTube channel, subscribe to the same. That is youtube.com/geekyranjit. If you found this video helpful, I'll appreciate if you can click the like button. That's it for now. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.